back line. Or na say Morocco for no decided say on best city. Now during the course of the game, yeah, shadi yake tuwa bi wa say French air bought with a back four. Back four of Koundé, Varane, Konate, and then of course, Theo Hernandez. But the roles on the field, on the bar are quite different, kakra. So at this point, this back line for France. But one player on my back line, a back four, one midfielder in Aurelien Tchouameni. So in the row, or central midfield, but a complemented back four. No. But at this point, Obebusa one question saying Theo Hernandez or starting as a left back, but in the row, no. On a by a man or the can say attacking roller or no any say uncle animu na uncle support to attack and whenever France progress area community. So then the role no quite different and anytime be an Oja Miensa Koundé, Varane and then Konate. These are the players I know that makes it a back three. But to complement that Tchouameni the role no centrally now I can't chill for no my back four. So that was how France set their base and we shared how our first goal by let's edge closer to how the first goal was made or prepared. So area had no more prepared goal, no. But at this point, share area had no more to be, and then we talk about something. The down flank channel probably mess up about number highlights here the actual. So one of the situations I'll be sharing on so the back line of the Morocco team, no, any single moment I'll be realizing, the French had only one striker in the final third. They were around the central zones. And look at the distances a attacker no any players are able to omontam and round this place in between the lines obenya Morocco for be and all but there's one player yenyan kan ho asem in player friend is Kessben. So usually on the barbell Volodi Asia na very very tough. Earlier you saw the ball around this area and send a ball no esaba midfield but one of the things are obesha so how the goal was scored. So this was the structure when the goal was created. So at this point this is Olivier Giroud's position where your Kessben position each and every one be a marking. But talk about the general structure of the Moroccan side and then you have about 1 2 3 4 5. So 5-man back line as against 2 strikers. But that was how the goal was created. So it means any single moment, Biano, there was a system, a bit near creative space at the amount. But I haven't spoken of the goal scorer. But the mentioning now was how the goal was created. How Theo Hernandez moved into the box without anybody, any defenders notice from the Moroccan defense. Very, very abnormal. So that was Theo Hernandez. But I remember Shababi or free buyer or back connected ball at the toilet. That was the position. So I had day and a Theo Hernandez ever movie about Besha go no ha. Our bra obia and monitor the movement. But this is the best defensive side our tournament boy. They went off through their awareness, and that was how the goal was scored. So, irrespective of every system or any tournament, there is always. So, at this point, he is still here without anybody's notice. That is so bad for Morocco. After said Kessben, a movie edging closely around the box, position of Theo Hernandez, nobody absolutely, and they are aware of the presence in the box, and then killing Morocco for, and that was how they scored their first goal. I mean, the French. They did so well. I mean, the build up to the whole situation. Now, Shadibi has said there was an overload. That overload, was had to be a Hakimi Ashraf position. This is the left back for Morocco, Atiatala. The position, Nipa 2, the Jan chain. So why is it like that? 2 players in the Jan Atiatala and chain. He's the only defender, but they are overloading that position. So it means Koundé will have Kessben and Sosowaha. How they get closer to the box is up to only Atiatala because it is 2 against 1. And when the ball edged very closer to the area, now Kessben's changing the position. So that is Kessben's position. At this point, Koundé overload, what took a Juma and now a task to play a friend say Atiatala. So 2 players no match on. It is now down to Atiatala said or join the centre back no support or about drop here baha. These are the situations the task is so huge. So how do you defend? Kessben is already gone. Koundé has opened out wide. And that is the overloader. First goal. So when Nayev again lost that ball, then it was done. for the Moroccans. But the movement of Hernandez and the space of the man, even when Bonnie and Drew, I think it was so bad. How can you offer this whole space to this guy? Or Panesho? That was how Morocco conceded first goal. No? Any single moment, or they prepared about game, you should think of two things: the ball and the spaces. While more close spaces, the awareness and concentration went off, and more Emma Tio Hernandez about goal. No? But right after that, try to build it out. No, we say very tough. But one situation, now Emma who said no, it will be very tough for Morocco to build out. The role of Amrabat. Amrabat, if indeed unim the game here, he's very effective off the ball. But in Morocco for team because the French had 3 players air pressing, your friend mid press. This is not aggressive. But how do you build out central? Because central player now in Amrabat and close no. So how do you build out? So at this point, and Amrabat air dropping between the 2 center backs. No more the ball nako. But if indeed also progress through Amrabat, forget it. So the French side gave the ball back to the Moroccans. So no, have the ball, but we will be keeping the spaces. And Oman press with a lot of aggression. Said Omo bread and sign a game that do so. So it was so tough. Even at a time, Bonnie Cramo, and look, this is the area that make one said earlier, even before I kick off and Russell. So Morocco found the ball in the bar, the kind of confidence, the kind of pace in transitions, yeah, I mean, who knows how or more a bit scared, one person column ball. So you have about 4 or 5 players here. But how to get the ball to the French side is so tough. But kudos to the French side now, and as a French for now, almost set up. 3 players at the back, you have Tchouameni protecting them. That makes it a back 4. And around the ball area, you have about 5 players overloading the Moroccans. So look at what they've done to them. Structure here, Juma, systems here, Juma, but it has to work on the weaknesses of the opposition. So you're close to Morocco, 4 against 3 and then 5 here as against 4. So that was how manager Fred said Didier Deschamps, the DM for France side back in France 98. Juma or share editor wa leader Gragunra. A quan best na bonu kra Morocco am the babes na ko. Now similar situation, you change game no 45th plus. You are second half, but still omontimi fa ball no from a chihon and it demanded sometimes tonight. So I drop your deep no about ball no. I mean that slim number 8 shirted midfielder. No drop it about, and that is in the position and or drop it. But the reality is that as soon as you are forced to drop your key creator back in defense for the ball, to say the Toribia near the Messi, it means Oheneba all short in the final third. So he will be dropping into the spaces to retrieve the ball. No progressive transition for Morocco. But Morocco have lost a player in the final third. Meanwhile, France keep about 4 or 5 players here in their own defense. So even if Unai Kwajibon not the bar, look at how many players here. And it is so tough. This was the system manager, a friend said, Didier Deschamps, at the right game. But one thing now, of course, we game is so exciting. The role of Kylian Mbappe. I mean, pace, energy, and then stamina. What can you take away from this guy's profile? He's built on a certain solid profile. Close to 1-on-1 very tough. So at this point, France and one goal, they have started dictating, and Morocco has switched to a flat 4-4 to where press it with one of their midfielders. Yet, how do you maneuver to retrieve the ball back to the French? And Mbappe's role in the position now tormenting Morocco a defense a disruptive a couple of times. Anytime beyond normally any antidote. Now at this point, she the position is so well. That is Mbappe's position. Mbappe position now about Edema France is so crucial, and he stays very closer to the best friend in Hakim. But on him Hakim weakness. On the 10, in turnovers against Morocco, Yana Hakim is slow because offensively, Yana Okobwa, but Okobwa. How does he recover? So at this point, that is Hakim, but on team close to Mbappe, not any circumstance. And I say, Mbappe Jabwa, on one case, friend in Hakim etimi close to. So that was how Morocco really couldn't do anything with the ball at their feet because throughout the tournament now, no more possession. But yesterday, France decided to reject and offer them the ball. So Ukrabono, but how to maneuver your way out, very tough. So thick of body sometimes I'm force Morocco to switch out. Now what's your overload now you would understand say there was an overload of 3 against 2 as at almost sitting very deep when you thick of forest of bodies and almost switch play to their key man in ZH But after some of switching ZH, you know, how many players can you see here in this zone? You have about 3 French players as against 2 Moroccans. This is how Morocco for no lucky the system no said the 2 players against 3. The overload is very nice. So with the ball, very tough to go and progress. Without the ball, there are overloads for the French, and they did so well. It means I'm watching Morocco for and say whatever system I'm building on, finally almost switch out wider. It's a certain ZH. Now this position for Kylian Mbappe is tough, very very tough. So you have about 4 or 3 players here. I'm closely Kylian Mbappe. So the area now I highlighted the amount. 3 players of Morocco, but how do you stop them? But in recovery, number 2 now recover the space and the ball. So Bondu Kylian Mbappe what I say. I'm about to recover a ball or recover space, you know. But the direct energy or placing in this recovery process, you know, I'm about. The space is there, the ball is here. 2 things and I recover whenever you lose possession. And Amrabat did so well. And to me, one of the best tacklers are Ubenya or tournament to him. So one recover ball now recover space now. At this point, we say one question say Hakim Ashraf or Hefa. Waka attack because Okobwamo when Timia recover. The second role Yadiama Amrabat so about drop it about Bois and a friend in Hakim Ashraf because pace now and when the game now very very tough. So anybody vows how the game went about, but let's talk about the second goal and then we'll be done here. Born 50-50. Really Obia transfer by when finally born by Morocco and unfortunately they lost the ball here. But at this point I'll be showing you something very critically. I see a game room. I then on myself overloaded Hakim Ashraf. Because America can overload no one match. 2 French players as against 1. You have Thuram, you have Kylian Mbappe. And then overload Hakim Ashraf. He's the weakest defender because of offending more. Or no late. But Mbappe is here, Thuram is here. And then overload, you know. You've been seeing this overload with or without the ball from the French. And that was how I'm punish it. And now he's taking Hakimi Ashraf out of the position. Yet Hakimi Rono is being occupied by a player friend said Thuram, but Mbappe knew. So the combo passing network really took out Hakim out of his zone. And that was how the French really maneuvered their way throughout. But for the second time, France went off. This is the position of Kolo Muani. This is Kolo Muani, the goal scorer. A new defender, very closer to him. But he's been going off throughout the course of the game. So manager Didier Deschamps said, no, attack through this area. That is Atiatala, the area. At the time, to run the ball, no best back to Mbappe, Obeyi, Amrabat, Afrimuno. Not just say, Colombo is so why you're freer or train only the second ball. How do you go off second time in a game? But at this point, they lost the ball infield. Like I keep saying, goal is considered in sequences. After, when they lost the ball, they also lost the situation here. The third one is when they lost concentration and their focus around the box. And Colombo, Frankfurt striker, very, very fast around the box. Or my Yasin Bonu who said Ujina Nechipe. But it's very sad because this is a team one. All throughout the tournament, all the ball turning very tough. And then within 90 minutes, now I consider 1 goal. But to say this is the position of Kolo Muani. If you are taking care of somebody like Mbappe, to say the 3 players, focus on Mbappe, you should also take care of that guy. But nobody absolutely, and focus on the position. And that was how they conceded. But they are so bitter, our tournament, so throughout the tournament, they enjoyed minority part of possession against Spain. 24% against Spain, they progressed. 27% against Portugal, they progressed. And the other game against Belgium, they also enjoy the little part of the game through their possession. And that is what you earlier saw. But against the French yesterday, 39% from the French, Amoko Adishe to go, 61%, only 1 ball on target. Possession really doesn't define strategy, but it's a theme to attack an opposition. Didier Deschamps said, my rejected possession at the Morocco for. What you do with the ball is up to you. But from the spaces, I'll close everyone. He did just that, having some 39% of the ball. But 2 goals and a final, making sure that being part of a few group of countries, a defender World Cup title, probably 1934-38 for Italy. And then Brazil also did that same thing. Let's see if for Hineba, France bet me defended what they did in Russia 2018 or Qatar 2022.
Newton, Yabedase, Newton, a dear feminine. They have World Cup game across the semi-finals games across between. Now, many said the Abacasa, they are far a year as someone near can far Buffon, the found a GS man yellow card, no.
Yes,
but I'm saying about committee.
On that. I think it was a foul, but not a yellow card, mammy.
It was a foul.
Yes, it was a foul, but not a yellow card, mammy.
By who?
It was a foul by Buffon.
Buffon.
Yes, in 50-50 situations, who touches the ball first owns the ball. So if you're solutioning Ronaldo situation, why not touch a ball first?
Okay.
It was Ronaldo. Livakovic and then Alvarez situation, why not touch a ball first? It was Alvarez. Then penalty went in for Argentina. Some of you are right or anybody.
Yes.
And then yesterday too, Theo Hernandez had the first touch to the ball in 50-50. Born in your there. Some percentage in the bus in contest. Tournament in a question for the first time, we won't say in contest. 13%, 8%, 7%, and we have 50-50. And technically, I'm more kind in contest. So in 50-50, who touches the ball first? That was Theo Hernandez. Now, Buffon 29 by a day. About 29, and the bear collide with Buffon, Theo Hernandez and 9. But at that time, now Ronaldo, you born up to him. Now Livakovic, I late to Julian Alvarez Bono. And in all those situations, there was a late contact. And that was a similar situation yesterday. Theo Hernandez took the ball out of the road for Buffon. And Buffon 9 years late, and Obenya attached to it. It was a foul, yes, but it wasn't a yellow card for me.
Okay.